Welcome to Wellness with John, resources to help you thrive. I'm John Peters, and today I'm going to do a quick book review of the book Adult Children of Emotionally Immature Parents by Lindsay Gibson. I'm going to give you my thoughts on this book and why I recommend it. Okay, so in today's video, I want to do a quick review of a book that a patient shared with me recently that I picked up, I read, and I've actually started sharing with other patients because I think it really does have some good stuff in it. And if you want the short answer of do I recommend it? Yes, I think it is worth checking out. And if you want a quick way to check it out, look in the description below. I'll put a link to the book. And by the way, when I put links in my videos, they are often affiliate links because I'm an Amazon affiliate. If you click on them, if you end up buying something, it doesn't cost you any more, but it helps out the channel a bit, so feel free to do it. But it's an easy way to check out the book. So the link will be in the description if you want to go take a look at the book and what people are saying about it on Amazon. So recently, a patient of mine recommended this book, Adult Children of Emotionally Immature Parents by Lindsay Gibson. And I always approach self-help books like this with a high degree of skepticism. So I've been a therapist for 26 years. I have read a lot of self-help books. To be honest, I don't like most of them for a variety of reasons. They all have limitations, of course, but some are just problematic and not useful. And I don't recommend a lot of books. Even though I like recommending books, I'm very selective about what I actually invite people to read because, number one, people don't actually follow through and read a lot, which is why I'm measured in making that recommendation. And the other thing is that if you're going to take the time to read something, you really ought to get something out of it. So when I recommend something, I usually have specific ideas about what I want that particular patient to get out of it. So here's how to think about this book and whether or not it might help you. Like a lot of self-help books that are reasonably well written, and I would put this in that category, it is internally coherent. So in the sense that the book is descriptive of a set of issues, it does a really good job of describing it, and it's internally coherent, which means what Gibson lays out in the book all fits together and makes a lot of sense. And that's a strength of the book, but with self-help books, when they are internally coherent, that is also a liability. And the reason for that is the reader can get kind of sucked in and seeing the author's description of the issue a little too much as an accurate, valid description of their own life. And so what I caution with this book and what I caution with all self-help books, especially ones that are kind of compelling because of their internal coherency, the way they make sense, is that when you read the examples that Gibson gives, and Gibson gives lots of examples to make all of the points in the book very clear, which some people might find a little belabored, but I think it helps with the clarity of the complexity of the stuff that Gibson's trying to get across. But what you have to do is you have to read it, and even if it rings true and resonates with you, definitely be open and aware and honest with yourself about, well, does that really fit with me? Because some of the examples that the author gives are going to be compelling and understandable, but they may not absolutely fit with what you experienced in your early life and your present life with yourself and especially with your parents as it regards emotions and nurturing or lack of, right? So you have to just kind of say, okay, yeah, there's that example, but maybe I didn't experience exactly that way, or I experienced it that way, but it didn't affect me exactly that way, and I'm going to pay attention to my own stuff, okay? The good news about the book is that, well, before I get into the prescriptive part of the book, let me say that I think one of the most valuable parts of this book is in the early chapter where the author decides to lay out all the different elements that can exist in an emotionally immature parent. It is extremely helpful both for understanding like how you experienced your actual parents, but also more broadly understanding what does it actually mean to identify emotional immaturity. Because if you just say that person's emotionally immature, that's a vague term. It probably points to something, but it doesn't tell us something. It doesn't tell us something useful that's actionable. But the part of the book where the author says, here's what it really means, here are all the different ways that a parent could be emotionally immature, extremely helpful. So if you get the book and you read the book and you only get one thing out of it, that is likely to be the most valuable thing, is you will gain a richer understanding of the specific elements of what it actually means to be emotionally immature, which also is good for our own personal growth, because then you look at yourself and you say, oh, wait, where are my weak spots in my own project of being optimally emotionally mature in my own life, right? Regardless of what you end up doing with your past or your current relationships with your parents, okay? But the book is valuable also, as I said, because it's prescriptive in that it doesn't just say, oh, here are all the problems and here are how you can get all messed up in your life because your parents sucked. It actually gives you some specific, easy to practice self-awareness exercises that help you explore yourself in the present in terms of what attachment style do I have? What are my ways that I have developed my own sense of self, or maybe not optimal sense of self, as it relates to this whole experience of being raised in a family where there might have been problems with emotional relatedness, and how might that have affected me? And then where am I today and where do I want to be? And there's a very good chapter toward the end of the book also on, well, so if I want to be emotionally mature and I want to be in a relationship with people who are emotionally mature, how do I notice that? You know, how can I evaluate the quality of the people I'm relating with so that I can see that I am connecting in healthy relationships that are not toxified by emotional immaturity, right? And if I have a partner who is emotionally mature, how can I positively identify my partner's attributes so that I can say, yes, I am actually achieving a healthy relationship with a person who is emotionally mature. So there's very, very practical exercises at the end of the book that are pretty comprehensive in saying, here are all the different ways to think about emotional maturity. So it's not just a deficit model, right? It's proactive to help you assertively seek healthy relationships, and it gives you some very good tools to do that. So I recommend that you check out this book. You can follow the link in the description below and check it out on Amazon, or go check your local library. I think it's a really popular book. It's likely your local library has lots of copies of it, I would guess. But in any case, yes, I recommend it with the caveats that I mentioned earlier. I think it has tons of really good nuggets in it. And I predict that if you read it, there's a 100% chance that you're going to come away with it feeling more competent in thinking about your past, but also thinking about your present life, and being enhanced in your capacity to improve your current and future relationships. So check it out. And if you like these kinds of videos, hit the like button below. I would love to have you subscribe if you have not subscribed already, because subscribers help grow my channel. And feel very free to leave comments below, because it helps me learn how people are taking in the videos and what matters to my viewers, and helps me craft the content for future videos. And if you like the video a lot, feel free to share it on your social media. I'd love to get more exposure. So thanks for joining me today, and I will see you in an upcoming video.